we started with brand you, right? That everything you do, 24/7, 365 has got to be coming from positive intention. It's got to be done with an abundance mentality, with caring and empathy, with interest focused on the customer, not on you. Versus, I hope I get that listing because it's going to give me 2% of a million. It should be, I'd really love to help that family get moved. They're going through a difficult time, they're separating. I'd love to be the person that helps them move through this difficult time together. Very different energy. So Lucas, a couple of things I'd do. Whenever I arrived at an open home, I'd park up the street. Why? Because it meant there was one extra space out the front. Kind of just little thing, but it kind of, for me, it's like little things are important. I'd always be there 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes early because I wanted to go through the property, get the music on, get the lights on, open it up, whatever needed to be dealt with. I did never assume the vendor would have it in pristine condition, although they normally did because I'd prep them as to how. This is a game of inches. Winning or losing a listing by a percentage or an inch is all the difference. You don't get paid land much for running second in a listing, right? You get paid zero. So what can you do with integrity, that's proper process, that's going to put you ahead of the rest? I'd also, Lucas, I'd be thinking, when I'm speaking with the vendor, when I list the property, one of my early questions, because sales is all about questioning, not telling people. It's all about questioning. So I'd say, Lucas, you obviously know this property a lot better than I'm ever going to know it. Could you give me a sense of, 2 or 3 things that you really love about this property that may not be obvious? And they'd say, oh, okay, that's a good question. Yeah, okay. In the mornings, I go and sit in that chair because the paper gets delivered at 6 a.m. I go sit there and I have a beautiful coffee and the sun just comes through and I have my favourite coffee reading the newspaper at 6:30 a.m. in that corner. Good for me to know. John, here's what you're never going to know is we have the best barista in Sydney. He's 400 metres up the road. He opens at 6 a.m. Good for people to go to work early. His coffees are absolutely amazing. Great, good to know. I want you to rate yourself 0 to 10 as Darren as a prospector. I want you as a lister, as a negotiator. Why do I do that? I like the rating system because it actually forces you to calibrate your current skill. It's not much good for me, Darren, if I say, what do you like as a prospect? You say, pretty good. What's pretty good? I don't know. If 10 was world best, 0 was world's worst, where do you sit on the scale? Now, then you've got to think about it, right? And you say, oh, John, I'm a 7. No, to actually be honest, no, I'm not that consistent. I'm a 5. Yeah, I'm a 4 or 5. Okay, it's good. How do we get to a 9? Maybe some of the questions we've thrown out today might be better to replace that. I would say, Leanne, when you bought the home, I assume this wasn't your first home, you sold another property to buy here. Could I ask what your experience was when you bought this home or when you sold your last home? So your last interaction with agents, good, bad or indifferent? Because if they say, it was terrible, I went through 3 agents, they charged me all this money, they overpromised on price, whatever versus someone said, oh look, it was fantastic, I sold in Sydney, I moved to Mackay, the agent in Sydney was brilliant. I'd say, fantastic, I'd love to know what they did that you found was really brilliant. Who are the 3 people in your database or your social sphere that you really like? And deconstruct it. Why do you really like them? What is it about that person that you want more of? Well, I like their style. They're calm and considered and thoughtful and they listen really well. Great, well, calm, considered, thoughtful, listen well is a really great tip for you. How do you rank in those areas? So think about all those things. Raise your standards and benchmarks. Go to the next level on everything. Like, how do I get to the next level? I find humility is a fantastic core value and strength. I think confidence is good, but I think humility is really critical. One without the other. I think humility and no confidence is not a great thing. I think confidence without humility is not a great thing. So it's kind of like, you've got to marry them together. It's what often people call the quiet achiever. They have good high energy, balanced, humble, feet on the ground, because the people that sort of let it all go to your head, they usually implode somehow. Resilience, a lot of rejection, and you've got to do a lot of work and get a lot of no's to get a yes in this industry, so the ability to be resilient and persistent is key. Attitude, I know these sound generic, but they are. I'm thinking of the best agents I know, and these are the kind of things that as I think about it. Clearly product knowledge is important, but it's not the most important, because someone with brilliant people skills and reasonably good product knowledge will outperform someone with brilliant product knowledge and reasonable people skills.